evening. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I'm Pastor Joe Fox. You know, a lot of people, maybe you, hopefully you, are feeling the urge to get ready, right? To get out of Babylon, to get out of the cities, get out of the suburbs, start living a simpler, different life, right? Because you know what's coming down the pike, and you know the kind of lifestyle that would probably be best to survive the difficulties that we have coming. And a lot of people say, well, it takes a lot of money, or I can't leave my job, or, yada, yada. There's 1,000 million excuses, reasons why people can't do this. Why people can't get their little survival homestead going. And a big one that a lot of people throw out there is money, right? And they say, well, I just don't have the money. I can't afford to leave my job, et cetera, et cetera. I have a family to feed. Money's a real issue. It's a real concern, but it shouldn't be a showstopper. Instead, it should be considered as a challenge and work your way around it. And let me give you an example. I just got off the phone with a brother, a friend, who lives in a city. He lives in the city. It's a big city. It's a major city. And he and the people his congregation, the people he goes to church with, most of them don't have a lot of money. All right, and they don't have, most of them, high-paying jobs, and so for a while they were like, man, how are we going to do this? We don't know how we are going to be able to do this. And what they've just decided is two families, my friend and another family who's also my friends, have decided that they're moving out of the city. They're moving 40 minutes outside of the city, and they're going to rent a place on 4 acres of land. Now, two families are going to move into a 4-bedroom house. These families have a passel of kids, right? And they have to work out all kinds of things, how they're going to do this, who's going to be in charge of the kitchen? How are we going to do food? How are we going to do bathrooms? How are we going to do bedrooms? How are we going to allocate time and space and yada, yada? But the bottom line is they are led by the Most High Yah, by God, to do this. And He's calling His people. He's calling His people to come out of the cities. And so they're saying, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to pool our resources. We're going to move into a house together. And we're going to start getting ready from there. But at least we're out of the city. And there on 4 acres in this area, they can learn to garden and raise chickens and maybe some goats. And, they can continue to meet with their congregation, their friends, and have an intermediate spot on the way to a bug-out location, which is another thing we talked about. Could we use Shofar Mountain for a bug-out location? And if you've seen my videos on it, I have a pretty good one called Bug-Out Protocols. You can kind of search down or up there, wherever it is, in the video link for that. I did that a few months ago. The major issue here is food, right? Man, you got to have food. And people say, well, food's expensive. Food is not expensive. Right now, food is cheap. I just shot a video. If you guys are watching my videos regularly, you can see that one, where a young family, young couple, put up a year's supply of food. Now, we helped them do it, physically helped them, but they paid for it. And it was a few $100s, but that's a year's worth of food. And so once you have the food, kind of everything else, we can take care of that. And so I encourage them, move into this place, out of the city, get your feet down, start learning how to garden and stuff, and start socking away food. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Start socking away food. And yes, you can get out of the cities. You may have to live with somebody else. You may have to double up in a house. Ooh, I have a very good friend, Pastor Charles Dowell, and they have a great community, Straightway. And they started with, I think it was 14 people in one house, probably representing 3 or 4 families, 1 bathroom. Right? And they pooled all their money, and then that's how they bought their land. And so if you want to do it, you can do it. You just have to decide that, doing this is more important than you having, your own living room where you can walk around in your boxers and that's all I care about. Give up a little bit of yourself. Die to self. Live for a greater cause. All right, you can do it. I'll see you out there.